So I am joined today by Dana Nachman, director of the documentary Dear Santa, a film that goes behind the scenes of the United States Postal Service's Operation Santa. So welcome to San Francisco Bay Area Moms, Dana.
Hi, thank you. As a Bay Area mom, I am happy to be here.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me first, we will show a few clips as we kind of go through this, but why was this story an important one for you to tell?
So, speaking of moms, my mom had bought me a book that she found at her local post office in New York back 8 years ago. And it was a picture book that I could read to my kids. And it was made, I think, for the 100-year anniversary of this pretty little known project of the United States Postal Service called Operation Santa. So every year I would read this book to my kids, and I loved the book. And I thought, what an amazing film this would be. Anything that like is a really, really cool story that most people don't know about really can be a great film, I think. So I checked around with my friends, and most people didn't know about it. So every year around Christmas, I would think about this and think, oh, I should contact USPS. And then I realized I couldn't really do it because it was December and that's a bad time to reach out to them. And then finally in 2018 in December, I was about ready to start on a series for Disney Plus, and I had done two other family friendly films. And I just thought, I think the time is right for me to reach out to them, even though it's probably really wrong because it's Christmas time, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So I reached out to them, and that's how we talked for several months, and then they greenlit it. And, I think aside from the fact that it was a great book, the reason I thought it would be great was because it really symbolizes a lot of the greatest spirit of America, and what we're kind of all drawn to during the holiday season, the sharing and the warm feelings you have when you're giving, not necessarily receiving. And I just loved all the concepts that were kind of inherent in the story. And that's why I wanted to do it.
Excellent. So you listened to your mom gut instinct that said, contact them now.
Oh yeah. And I always listen to my mom has been very instrumental also. So she not only got me this book, but the last film I did called Pick of the Litter was also, my mom was a journalist and she did that exact story as a series for her newspaper. So, so I just told my mom the other day, I'm like, hey mom, we need a new film. Could you come up with something?
Right. Yeah. She can pitch you your ideas. That's great. So for those who may not be familiar with it, how does the Operation Santa work?
So probably everybody realizes, and have done it themselves and their kids have done it, that kids write letters to Santa, and they, might write North Pole. They might just write Santa. I think it was featured in A Miracle on 34th Street back a long time ago, that these letters have been coming into Santa for more than 100 years. So over the time, it's kind of evolved into this very massive program called Operation Santa, where but let me go back for just a second, that Santa and the Postmaster General 107 years ago did have a meeting where Santa said, okay, yes, you guys should help me with this because the letters are coming to you. So they were basically anointed by Santa to be able to help. So since then, USPS workers really on their own time, their own dime, have been dealing with these letters in different ways. Sometimes they've been writing back to the kids. Sometimes they help get presents for the kids, but they always get the letters to Santa, and he kind of tells them what they can and can't do. So now about several years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Santa wanted all the letters to become digitized. So the mailroom elves are digitizing all the letters, and so they're easier to deal with. Now, people can go online, apply to become an elf, and if they're accepted, which they usually are, they can pick out the letters that they want, and then they can fulfill the letters. So our film focuses on let's say 10 to 15 letters that we thought were very compelling, and we followed the letters from who wrote them and why they were written to how they were fulfilled.
That's really heartwarming. That's wonderful. Yeah. And I know the lead elves are post office workers. But then to be able to get an elf, and you're right, to be able to kind of see that list, something just you might have an in or a connection to really help Santa make that child's wish come true. So that's really great that they're able to do it that way. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to share, I have a clip from the film, and it actually takes place here in Chico, and it does talk about one of these lead elves and kind of what she gets out of it. So let's watch.
My favorite time of the year is Christmas. I love the excitement of all the extra parcels and all the extra mail, and it drives everybody else crazy, and they're like all stressed out, and I love it. Oh my God, that one is funny.
Yay!
Look at this.
That's fantastic.
A dragon with a rainbow.
No, look at this.
No.
This is fantastic.
Googly eyes. I am the head elf in Chico. This is my 9th year doing it. I'm Sadie. Santa needs elves because this is a really big world, and he can't possibly do it all himself. We're there to help him and, do some of the legwork for him so that he doesn't have to work so hard.
Okay, she wants a rainbow light to hold in her hand, a king octopus, a dragon that talks, flies, is a girl warrior, and is rainbow, and has Wonder Woman clothes.
I love the idea of toys. Toys bring everybody such joy. Little kids love toys. Well, believe it or not, adults love toys too. I can be an adult all day long if I want to, but most of the time I don't want to.
Answer back what you want for Christmas, Brianna. I love kids. So good.
Dear Santa, you know Cooper really wants a Lego train, right? So I was thinking,
Santa sent me a big red mailbox years ago, and we'd put all the letters into their mailbox so that we don't lose any. At that point, I get a hold of Santa, either by text or Facebook. We go over all the letters. We decide who's been naughty, who's been nice. And then from there, we decide what they're going to get off their list, and we go from there.
Excellent. I love that one. It's so sweet. But I think it's important to know too that children, toys are wonderful. And of course, kids want toys. They're magical. But I think we need to give them a little more credit that they know what their families need and want. And I imagine some of these letters have wishes that go beyond toys. Are there some that stick out to you in your filming and your kind of gathering of all of the information of some of those wishes from some kids?
Oh yeah. So we actually weren't going to focus and didn't focus on any of the toy related gifts really. We were interested in this other section of letters that are called special requests. And every year there's hundreds and hundreds of, I think thousands of special requests that come in. So that's anything from pets. There's a lot of pets. Some kids want a little brother or sister, which I don't know, the Santa doesn't deal with those. There's ones that are really cute. Like there was one that we almost had in the film, but we didn't quite do it. Was a kid who had a really big imagination and was very creative and wrote a lot of stories and wanted his stories to come to life. So really cool letters. But in that section too of the special request, there's a lot of needs, not necessarily wants, but needs. Kids who want clothes, families that need food. Every year there's mattresses. And that to me was the gut punch for me was the people, the first time I read it, I thought one mattress, but then when I read my 20th letter that said mattresses, really, really just hurt my heart because I'm thinking, it conjures up this image in your mind, like where are these kids sleeping? How many kids have to sleep in the same bed with other people? Are they sleeping on the floor? Are they sleeping in cars? And I think what these letters do, for me at least, and I hope for people watching the film, is, we all know about homelessness, we all know about poverty, right? But we don't often get this really intense look in to that in such a personal way, in the stories of these kids and some families and adults through, you know, through their words. And so I think that's the most poignant part of these, and that's a lot of the letters also. And so we wanted, you know, we didn't want the movie to be about one thing, you know, we wanted to show the range of these letters. And so we go through all of those. I mean, we touch on poverty, we touch on pets, we touch on toys, we touch on fun, whimsical things. And I think all that kind of encapsulates children, you know, and children of America.
Oh, definitely. And actually, there is another clip I wanted to show, because this is a great example of how the elves and the helper elves can really see the impact of what they're doing, but also can pull on their own connections and their own morals and beliefs. And this one happens to be pet related, but I did want to share this clip. Well, maybe not. Let's see if I can prep it and get it going. But it was one where the women have, you know, a real connection with animals and animal rescue. And then they had a family who not only wanted a dog and a puppy, but then the little boy who wanted rabbits. And so they're really able to kind of make that connection for themselves and, you know, use their own resources, as I said, and their own love to really kind of help foster that with kids, as well as, you know, just the fact that they're being able to help with those wishes. So that is wonderful.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Yep. So tell me, I'm sure after seeing and the elves that help take part in this, that their lives probably changed in unexpected ways. Did you get any sense or stories from the elves of what that is like?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think, you know, so we have our elves that work at the post office, and then we have elves who, you know, do a few letters each year, and then we have elves who have, you know, have to rent U-Haul trucks because they're responding to so many letters. And they really, the two people that we focused on, one more than the other, or the two groups, like, so one, they're both in Chicago actually. One is a guy who works for a real estate company, and he just started doing this years ago, and it grew and grew and grew and grew, and they did it as a company, and now it's like hundreds of packages and letters that are fulfilled by them. Another one is another group in Chicago who they also started off in a small way. It's almost like an addiction. And then they do a really cool thing where they write a letter. So they get all the letters in. Then instead of sending packages out like all the rest of us do, they write a letter to the people that they're going to respond to and say, this is who we are. We have a nonprofit. Please call us back. And they get all this information. So say like a kid had asked for an Xbox or something. They then find out about the family, and they find all these other needs. And I think they get stuff from hotels, like, you know, like extra blankets and towels. And they give like dozens of packages to each family to help, you know, not just the little need that the kid, or then the little want that the kid wanted, but like try to make their world better. And I think, you know, these people used words when we were with them, like, this gives me purpose, this fulfills me, this, you know, took back Christmas for us in terms of like, you know, of course we could spend all of our time buying presents for our kids, but this, I mean, like, purpose really is what came, like, and I thought that was awesome. And that's something that resonates with me fully, is like finding your, you know, your purpose and doing it through this. And, you know, most of this stuff is very, anonymous too. I mean, the people who write the letters to the people, they have connections with them, but most everybody else, it is just an anonymous transaction. You get the letter, you don't really know who these people are other than maybe the kid's first name. You bring it back to the post office, and the post office doesn't give you their address because they can't do that. They just they just scan it and send it off. And so I think it really is life-changing for people. I mean, I know that like some of the people, like, this takes over their entire holiday period. Like, it is a month of like blood, sweat, and tears, and it's a big deal. And so I think it goes back to purpose for a lot of these elves.
That's amazing. That's great. Well, and I do have the video queued up, so I do want to share this one because I think it's an excellent example of purpose, especially for this couple.
Girl.
This year, my wife and I said we would each adopt one letter. That didn't happen. We adopted more than that. All in all, we adopted 5 letters.
Leave it. Good girl.
Leave it. Come on.
I was particularly drawn to one letter because he wants 10 bunnies. 10 bunnies. And it was just so funny. The other letter, this little girl, all she had asked for was for her family to get a puppy. Santa reached out to us because Santa knew that we were involved in animal rescue community and are huge animal lovers. The fact that we could get a rescue bunny and a rescue puppy, being able to tie it back into our own values meant a lot to us.
Good girl.
We are so honored that Santa asked us to help deliver both of these letters.
Wait, where did I hit you?
Your last one was Foxtrot 2.
F2? What is it? Like a person.
Oh, it's a person holding an egg. What is that? The bell.
Oh, the bell. Hey guys, there's somebody here that wants to meet you.
Oh,
Do you guys want to hold her?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hold her.
Okay,
We'll put her on a blanket.
Let's put her on the blanket. Oh my God. She's so cute.
Hey
I'll
guys,
just pet her.
why is there a puppy here, you think?
I don't know. Really
Santa Claus sent him here, and that's our new puppy.
Really? Wait, really?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Really?
Whose letter was it that was wrote? I forgot. Santa sent somebody who sent the puppy. They're right here.
Thank you.
So sweet. And you can see the shot to those 2 women. You can see them tearing up and just that. It's really meaningful.
Yeah, super
That's really great. I know the film comes out on Friday, the 4th. So how can people view the film? Like what are the ways that they can, if they want to be able to see it in full?
Sure. So it's going to be available anywhere you can rent or buy movies, on Amazon, iTunes, anywhere like that. I'm hoping it gets into the drive-in in San Jose. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go do that if it does. So we're waiting on that. But online everywhere, and then it's also the same day as Operation Santa opens, so you could watch the film and then you could adopt your own letters if you want to. And I think the kids would love to be little Santa helpers, and there are kid Santa helpers in the film, so I think they'll be inspired by that.
That's great. And that actually was going to be my final question, is if people after seeing the film or even just seeing this interview and want to help, what should their next step be? What should they do?
Yeah, so they can just go on to USPSOperationSanta.com and adopt their own letters. They open on December 4th. And then as letters come in, people can apply to be elves. And so it's really fun. I highly recommend it. I did it
That's
last
great. And it sounds like once they get you end up staying. And, year after year, you just kind of, look for that.
Yeah, have it be part of our tradition. Yeah, I mean, just actually like minutes before we did this interview, I was looking at my email and I got an email from somebody who wrote into my website saying, I've seen what you've been doing on the news. I'm a mom of 10 kids. I need so many things. I need help. And that was the first I've gotten of that. And so I'm going to tell them to write to Operation Santa for sure. And it's really cool. Like you'll see in the film also some of the letters get, and actually Jen and Matt, the elves in Chicago, they specialize on letters that are for families more than 5 kids. Because sometimes those get left behind because they bundle kids together because they don't want one kid to get an answer and not another. And so I'm really, I'm excited to steer this nice woman in this direction, and I'll look out for her letters on the site.
On the site. That's amazing. Yeah. And good for her for asking. And, sometimes as as a parent or just a human, we're afraid to ask for help when we really need it. So
Yeah.
it's nice to know that there's an organization out here that can help. It can help, help you as a parent make your kids' wishes, to Santa come true.
Yeah,
and
for
to
sure.
make
And
the
I
holidays
imagine there's going to be a lot more need this year than usual too. So I think it's
I
a great,
agree.
we're lucky that it's coming out this year to get the word out.
Yeah, it seems, kismet. Another reason, 2 years ago you had that instinct to
Oh gosh, I
contact
don't
them.
know. I mean, I think that's just a little lucky.
Yeah.
The sad thing is we don't need a pandemic or, a crisis of our government to make the need so high. So, I mean, I think this year it's just as good that this is coming out. It's good because, maybe we'll have more juice behind the program, but every year they need it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not going to go away next year. So
no. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Dana, very much. Thank you for
So,
being here with the Moms Blog. I really appreciate it. And
thank you for doing
I hope
this.
everybody takes the time to check the film out on Friday or soon after it comes out on Friday.